right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer, JC, Steve, Alfonso, the full gang is with you this morning. Big day. It's Valentine's Day. It's a certain someone's birthday. We got a lot of Steve's favorite companies reporting earnings. So a lot going on today on the morning show. We'll have Kenny stop by. We'll have Louis stop by. We'll have Alfonso stop by, provided his internet is working okay. And we got you, and we got me, and we got us. Let's go. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. Get your orders in, and tell your friends, because we're about to start. In fact, we are starting right now. It's happening.
Hey, whose birthday is it today?
Mine? No, not mine.
So many of you have these like holiday birthdays.
My twins are born on Halloween. It's like
Yeah.
a fake holiday, but still
Exactly.
cool. My birthday's on Valentine's Day, fake holiday. So we're just born on fake holidays, but cool ones. Halloween is awesome. I've always loved Halloween. So the fact that my boys are born on Halloween, that's cool. And Valentine's Day sucks. And it's a scam because when you go to restaurants, they don't even have the same goddamn menu. They have that prefix shit. It's more expensive. You can't even get a goddamn reservation. The whole thing's a racket. So the fact that it's my birthday, I get to skip all that shit without having to like make up any creative excuses. It's just like, I don't want to do that dumb shit. And my wife is like, it's like the one day where my wife is like, okay, whatever you want. That never happens, by the way.
I'm cooking tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
Because you're right. You don't go to restaurants tonight.
What are you making?
Surf and turf.
Surf and turf. Ooh, maybe I
Never
can go
cooked
for
lobster.
maybe I can go for some surf. Because my wife's like, what do you want to do for dinner? I was like, ribeyes, obviously, And so we're having ribeyes for dinner. And but now that you mention it, some lobster tails might not be so bad.
Well, I was shopping for steaks and I saw the lobster and it was like light bulb.
What about a little caviar? Having any caviar tonight?
No. And then we're going to the Symphony.
The
South
Symphony.
Florida,
They
Symphony
got
Orchestra.
those in Key West? They got symphonies?
Yeah.
No shit. Ain't that something? All right.
Wow.
You get
big
your
happy
lovely lady.
birthday.
You get your lovely lady something nice with all this goddamn money you're making these days. Does she know how much money you're making?
Shh.
We can't tell her.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Strazza's on some kind of run right now. You better have gotten her something nice, Strazza. That's some bullshit if you cheaped out.
You're funny. You're hilarious today.
Earmuff, sweetheart.
Good energy from everybody in the chat, though. I wonder if it's a Valentine's Day thing or people just excited for your birthday.
Dude, it's a fucking bull market. Let's go.
Okay.
Tariffs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Dow futures down 95 points this morning. That's 44,715. We've got the S&P futures flat on the day, 6130. NASDAQ 100 futures flat on the day, just under 22,100. 30-year bond futures up 0.25%, back above 115. Crude oil up 0.75%, just under 72. We got copper pretty flat this morning at 476. What a move this thing has had. Gold up 0.33%, up 29.50. Silver, up 4.5% this morning, 34.15 for silver. Wowzers. With the volatility index somehow up this morning slightly, just above 15 over in funny money land. I was so excited about my birthday. I don't even have my setup. I don't even got my setup. We got Bitcoin up 0.33%, just a smidge under 97,000, 2,700 for Ethereum, up 1% on the day. Solana trying to get back above that 200, up almost 2% on the day. Total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 3.17 trillion. And the dollar, getting slammed once again this morning, on pace for its lowest weekly close since, drumroll please, the first week of December. So that is new 2-month lows for the U.S. dollar index. How do you feel about all that, Mr. Strazza?
Dollar's getting slammed right now back into the box. The biggest tell was a few days ago. The bond market gave back all of those gains from whatever report that was, right? So you had this little rip in rates, and they gave it all back. Rates rolled over, dollars followed. That's the biggest deal of anything for sure right now. And doesn't it just make sense for that to be happening? Was the best evidence not actually just the price action from international equities?
We talked about how, like, is the dollar going to roll over? Is the dollar going to roll over? I was looking at copper, to be honest with you. You're not wrong on the international equities. That for
Commodities
sure.
too.
To me, it was like, what's
Yeah.
copper sniffing out? What's gold sniffing out? Like but you're right on the equity side too.
Other U.S. dollar denominated risk assets.
Mm-hmm.
The price action there was screaming lower dollars for the past couple of weeks now.
Can we throw up that slide 5, please, just so everybody can see the U.S. dollar getting destroyed? I was explaining this to civilians this weekend. Who was I explaining it to? I found myself explaining. Oh, it was my trainer. I was working out with her, and we're doing legs, and I'm having trouble breathing, and I can't move my legs. I'm still sore as shit. Fuck you, Maggie. So I'm explaining to Maggie, because she's asking about the market, right? And I'm explaining to her how the stock market's been really strong despite a stronger dollar. And I was explaining to her that the dollar rolls over, and she was having a hard time understanding, why is a weaker dollar good? Like, isn't that supposed to be a bad thing? And I was explaining to her how it's like, I was showing her, like, this guy was doing like leg lunges with like that 100-pound bag on his shoulders, right? So I was explaining to her that the stock market and other risk assets going up, it's like trying to go up the stairs with that bag on your shoulders, right? And then once the dollar rolls over, that's like throwing the bag off your shoulders and being able to walk freely. So I explained it to her like in workout gym mode, and she's like, oh, okay.
That was good of you.
That was good, right? I thought that was pretty good. Yeah.
Bag on your shoulder. You're big workout guy these days.
Listen, I'm trying, man. I'm 43 years old. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm not trying to like compete in these like lifting competitions. She does. She's fucking crazy. She's like hauling trucks. Like, she's pulling trucks like in these competitions. Yeah. She's a beast, like total beast. But I like doing legs with her because like, I don't, we do some things that I wouldn't trust myself, like doing by myself. You know what I'm saying? So like having her with me, like a professional,
I couldn't see you doing like a CrossFit situation.
I've done the CrossFit. CrossFit is like, for people who like talking about CrossFit. I'm not one of those people. Next time you come visit, we're going to do legs with Maggie.
Probably not.
No, 100%. 100%. Yeah. You, me, and Pearl Dog doing legs with Maggie.
Not a big leg.
Then we'll go to the spa. Deal?
Oh, all right. Listen, I don't really love the way you have your dollar chart drawn. Can we throw up my dollar chart?
You really don't like my dollar chart? That's a little rude.
I don't know. I think the market told us where the key level is in this chart. I think it's like this. It's more like this. But what stands out more than anything, and we're breaking today, just to be clear.
So what's your level? 107? 107?
Call it 107. It's the highs from late 23, mid-late 23. So you got the bearish momentum divergence. That's not really what stands out. So we're getting hit back into the box today. Today's candle's putting us back into the box below this upper bounds of this little range here. Momentum is also hitting its lowest level. Do we have an updated chart showing the momentum? Momentum on the RSI 14 is at its lowest level. Lowest level it's been since September of last year, when price of the Dixie index was at the lower bounds of this range. So momentum has completely died and rolled over. And I think that's big evidence. I think we're heading back to the lower bounds. And again, I think it's the intermarket information that we're getting.
So you think dollar gets back under 100?
These stocks aren't stopping. Look at Europe every day. Look at China today. Alibaba, 3-year highs.
Avoid the question. You think dollar gets under 100?
Huh?
You think dollar gets under 100?
Shout out Alibaba. Yes, I do. And the bull market rages on.
Dre giving me props on the KC call from a month ago. I just want to defer the props to the team. That was all the team. I get to hand select the opportunities that I think are the best. So as much as I appreciate, the love goes to the crew. Shout out Steve Strazza, the Fonzarelli man, Sam in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a team effort around here. Team effort.
He must be talking about the Chiefs.
No.
Oh, the King Soft.
Remember that company that supposedly makes software, but they probably don't? It's
I'm aware. I'm aware of the King
big
Saw.
scam. I remember I was saying I hope it is a scam because they go up faster. Well, here you go.
Look, I am on the hunt for Chinese scams right now.
Yes.
I'm looking far and wide for these companies. If you know of any good Chinese scams, send them over. Drop it in the chat. Let us know.
The bigger the scam and the more widespread the fraud, the better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Dude,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll buy this coil in Neo. I don't care.
Yeah, there's no way these bastards are making electric vehicles. No way. Not a shot in hell, right? No way. They run sweatshops, right? At best.
But seriously, in all seriousness, the point we're trying to make is that everything's working out in China. It's not just the big guys. The big guys are working and working great. Some better than others, right? But look at Alibaba, for example. Look at Build Your Dreams. Look at Xiaomi. But even when you go down the cap scale, the more speculative Chinese stuff is working as well. And there's just a really broad universe out there.
Okay. Can we stop with this nonsense and get into something that's important?
Well, yeah, and I got earnings. Like this was a really big earnings day for me. So I'd like to get to that. Maybe we'll wait until you leave. That'll bore you. We could do the earnings.
No, the earnings don't bore me. No, I respect it and I appreciate the earnings situation. I want to talk about expansion and market breadth.
Okay.
I think this is important. I've been getting questions, from society about whether market breadth even matters anymore, or why market breadth is so weak because you have these you see what happens, Strazza, is that these serial killers take one number and then they arbitrarily subtract it from another number and then call that market breadth, or worse, they take one number and then divide it by another number and call it market breadth. They claim that they're so obsessed, like some kind of weird fetish with the 52-week high and low list. Like it's like this like weird disease. I can't understand it. There are other time horizons like 1 month, 1 quarter, 6 months. I mean, but this like creepy fetish about the 52-week lows and highs, I mean, it's just odd. So
it is.
Me,
it's creepy.
It's creepy. It's odd. Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't judge. Whatever you do in your own bedroom, that's up to you. So for me, I think the life hack in my experience is to literally just count, right? And the beauty of this life hack is that most humans, like almost every single human on the planet, like almost all of them, won't count. They'll choose like the weird, division and subtraction of 2 arbitrary numbers, right, to make themselves feel better, or like they'll choose like some indicator, right? Like the other day, they're like, "Well, JC, the McClellan indicator. What the fuck is the McClellan indicator?" Right?
There's always an indicator for certain people. There's always an indicator.
There's always an indicator. But the best indicator is just counting. Like 1, 2, 3. Like it's not hard. Like I have twin 2-year-olds. They can count to 30, right? Like this isn't that difficult, right? So why don't we take a look at slide 2 here? Because I cannot fathom how someone, any investor, but especially a professional that should know better, sees the equally weighted NASDAQ 100 closing at an all-time high, highest levels ever, equally weighted NASDAQ 100. And then on the same day, you've got the global 100 index closing at the highest levels ever. And then that you see this and then come to the conclusion that breadth is weakening. What the fuck are you looking at, bro?
No, it's a great point that you're making. And frankly, the NASDAQ's been a laggard. So if we get a breakout there, I think that's big because everything else is already breaking out.
I don't understand. So go through the next ones. You can see here just the equally weighted NASDAQ 100 on its own. I mean, that just doesn't look like a downtrend. It doesn't look like a weakening market. It just looks like a good old-fashioned uptrend, just like your grandfather used to have in the old days. I mean, just right. And then to go to the next one, So this is about 60% US last I checked, right?
Yeah. Oh, the chat's funny.
Why? What's the chat saying?
Nothing.
I'm trying to work around here, and the chat's making funnies.
I know.
What's so funny? Who's
Nothing.
Nothing? I didn't catch it. Okay, look. United States, 61%. No, that's actually
too much.
No.
Too much.
Hold on.
Hey, JC.
Hold on. No.
I don't want 60%. I don't want 60%. It is. I think it is. I don't want 60%
81%.
US.
Wow.
Oh my God. That's bad. That's what
So-
happens when you outperform nonstop for a decade and a half. You know, you get big in the indexes. Wow. You know, how much US do you want right now? If we're talking about percentages. Speaking of allocations.
30.
Wow, that low?
For me, yeah.
Yeah. But are you including alternatives or just between your mix between US versus international stocks?
What do you mean by alternatives?
Like all your investments. I'm saying just a mix between US and international stocks.
30.
Really? Wow. All right.
Yeah.
You dog
Um,
me. Just giving up that
good
quick?
Europe looks, Latin America, China, like with all of these things picking up, do you really want to be in America?
Trader.
Can you throw up the new slide too? Let's just remind everybody what happened in October. So this is right before the election, and the brilliant folks at The Economist magazine decided to remind everybody that the United States is the envy of the world. Envy of the world. Now, not 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Now we're the envy of the world with the dollar shooting up like a rocket ship. Steve Strazza, is this evidence? Is this late cycle evidence towards the United States, or is this early? What do you make of this?
When was this?
This was mid-October, so this was like 3 weeks before the election.
Yeah.
I mean, the economists nail it again, bro.
Well, the dollar didn't look the way it does today in mid-October, though. Like,
No, I understand. They were a little bit early. They didn't exactly call the top, but pretty damn close, right?
Look, it's all about the reaction leg from here, right? We're breaking back into the box. From failed moves come fast moves. If we get a quick, reaction rally back to the lower bounds and then that breaks, that's literally the best thing that could happen for stock market bulls. Risk asset bulls, right? Whatever you're trading, cryptos, international equities, commodities, dollar doing that kind of a thing out here, say for the remainder of 2025, I think is the best environment that we could have. No?
I think a weaker dollar really adds fuel to this bull market. And by the way, the sentiment, can we just talk about how, we've got the most bears amongst individual investors since 2023. So you've got breadth expansion, you have you've got positive momentum and confirmation across the board, new all-time highs in a lot of the most important indexes around the world, and then you have pessimism across the board.
Listen,
a pretty great combination.
I think maybe I'll agree with you more on the sentiment for the U.S. dollar. I think there's some froth there.
Well, we know because we have the positioning data, but just from a stock market standpoint, you've still have plenty of not. Yeah. I think it's both.
No,
I think it's both frothiness in the U.S. dollar, pessimism in euro, Swissy.
No.
What do you mean no? We have the data. We know
there's not a pessimistic vibe among
American
investors and definitely not American consumers. Some of these consumer surveys are at frothy highs. They're at extreme readings in the opposite direction.
I don't know anything about consumer surveys.
Mixed.
I don't know anything about consumer surveys. I'm telling you what individual investors feel about the U.S. stock market in the next 6 months.
Sentiment
half of them are bearish. No. Half of them are bearish over the next 6 months. Half.
No. Sentiment.
No.
There's not an overly pessimistic sentiment among stock market participants.
Right, are you mentally challenged? Are you not hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth?
It's not my fault that these surveys suck. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this.
And I don't know how many times I have to show you how valuable and helpful they've been over the years. Every time we have this conversation.
God. Okay.
So you're telling me.
Don't make me go do the work.
Stop.
Don't make me go find all the false flags.
Stop.
Okay.
You're telling me
I'll go take 2 hours after the show to do that for you.
Stop. Let me ask you this. Half of the individual investors, granted, 300 white boomer Republicans in the Midwest fill out this survey. Great, fine. And it might not be exactly 300 white boomer Republicans in the Midwest, but probably pretty close. And that's how I think of it. For better or for worse, that's how I think of this group, and that has been very helpful. Half of those people are bearish the United States stock market over the next 6 months, Are you telling me that that is a headwind or is that more of a tailwind?
FXI is up 3% again pre-market.
See,
This
you
is
see what
just
I'm
getting
dealing with,
crazy
guys?
out here.
See what I'm dealing with?
I don't know.
Unbelievable.
Listen, can we just agree to disagree? I get it. I get it, and I don't. I think it's great at extremes. I just don't think we're at one. So I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I see the stock market hitting new all-time highs, and I see the pessimism, and I think that that's bullish.
Am I supposed to just agree with you on everything because it's your
No,
birthday?
that's the last thing I want. That's the last thing I want. My wife, that's what my wife does. It's like today's like the one day where everything I do is not wrong. Right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
She
not
gave
everything is my fault today.
she gave you like a spa day yesterday or last year for your birthday, right?
Did she?
What
I
she
don't
do?
remember.
Wasn't that last year? You guys went to the nice little spa, like you did like a day.
Dude, my life is a blur over the
Yeah.
last several
All right.
years. I
Well,
don't
nice.
I mean it sounds right. It sounds right.
She's great.
Yeah, no, she's great. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go now.
Oh.
Guys, I appreciate the time today. You guys are lovely, lovely folks. Strazza, you're cool too. And
Wait.
Spencer Israel, I appreciate you. Make sure that you get wifey something nice. You know, be extra nice to your wifey today, Spencer.
I'll do my best.
You know, and then everybody out there in the chat, in internet land, you know, go out there, YOLO responsibly, right? But YOLO responsibly. All right. JC out.
I guess on our birthdays we can dip out early. Noted.
So you're funny. So now we can talk about China in peace. That's all
Actually,
everybody wants to do, right? Chat. Is it too much China, or are we just talking about what we should be talking about because these stocks? What a relentless bid for Chinese equities. You know, there was a question in the chat: do we buy them here, or do we have to wait? It depends, right? You treat them all. You treat them all individually. Something like Baidu was set up so nicely just yesterday. Something like Alibaba, super extended. So just treat each chart and each entry setup on their own merit. Pick and choose your spots. But I don't think you got to go chasing here. You know, we see how these stocks correct when they do, right, Spencer?
we just saw this like 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
So I think
We
we
just
are in a
went
new
through
upside.
this.
Right.
So what did I say like a month ago when Steve first started talking? I was like, if you felt like you missed out in October, you got your chance, right? Like this is round 2. So
you could have missed a nasty correction if you waited in October.
That's true.
You never know.
Yeah, you don't know. All right. We got a lot going on here. I know we got Louis backstage. We'll have Kenny pop in. We have a bunch of earnings. We have even Steve's favorite, a couple of 13Fs that are moving. Stocks are moving this morning off of this NVIDIA 13F filing from last night.
NVIDIA dumped the SoundHound, huh?
NVIDIA dumped SoundHound.
And
SOUN is down 21% this morning because why? At some point over the last 4.5 months, NVIDIA sold their stake.
That's crazy.
That's it.
And the other one's SERV, I believe. That's just getting hammered.
There's actually there's a couple more. Well, yes, there's that. There's WRD We Ride, which is a great name for a company. We Ride, and it's up 93% today because NVIDIA disclosed a 1.74 million share stake in this company.
And this kind of thing won't last forever. But
No.
right now, NVIDIA is more powerful than any stock I've ever seen in the market. If your name is attached to it in a good way, you're zooming higher, your stock price is, just going to keep climbing. And if you're attached to it in a bad way, like in this case, NVIDIA is dumping these stakes and some of these stocks, you're going to get absolutely destroyed. And then, in another way, when news comes out, right, like the DeepSeek thing a few weeks ago, NVIDIA gets hit. It's not just going to be NVIDIA. They're bringing others down with them. So I've never seen anything like it. This kind of a sympathy trade dynamic. But God, is it real right now? So you got to respect it while it's in place, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, Serve, guys, NVIDIA sold their stake in Serve also. So Serve is down 35-ish% this morning because
Just air comes out of these things. It's
Yeah.
crazy. On
Yeah.
one headline. This isn't the NVIDIA selling driving it lower, like Spencer noted. This is the scare that NVIDIA sold many months ago.
Same difference. What's the difference? There's no difference.
Well, when there's a big player in the market, they'll move the stock, right? So this is now retail and others coming on top of the fact that NVIDIA already dumped a material.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, this is not NVIDIA's selling pressure.
Right.
This is right. Okay.
The day NVIDIA sold many months ago, I'm sure the stock was down, or that week, right, over the course of days, however it happened. But that wasn't them. This is now new sellers.
If you think that these companies with these stakes and other companies are not having their prime brokers trade using the VWAP to not move the stock, you crazy, man. That's all they do. That's all they do.
They're whopping.
Of course they are. All right. Why don't we do this? Why don't we bring Lumi on, and then we'll bring Kenny on. And then I know Louis is powering through. I know he doesn't have his whole voice, so everyone be nice to Louis. He's lost part of his voice, but he's here, and it's like really
Yeah.
So, but it's Crypto Friday, so we got to talk at least some cryptos on Crypto Friday, right?
Get him on here. Get him on here.
Got my fingers on the post, avocado and toast.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'll just make
What
a
have
very
you done to your
appearance, obviously, of my voice, but just had to talk about crypto this morning.
So look, we're in a market right now. JC's been pounding the table about global breadth expansion, how positive, international market internals are, commodities are working, risk on currencies are working. Everything seems to be working. And we look over at the cryptos and it's like, what is going on? Now even the dollar is breaking down.
It really is.
So people need to know. Help us out here. Help us out.
Look, it comes back to this liquidation cascade that I've been talking about now for a few weeks. We had that excessive leverage come out of the market, really, really bullish. I want to pull up the average altcoin chart, or what the average altcoin looks like, Spencer. So the average altcoin down 55%.
Killing me.
A tremendous sell-off. And this really just comes in line with the liquidation cascade that we saw a few weeks ago. We saw a lot of people that were really bullish, and they just were stubbornly so. And now the market has forced them out of that position. We've seen a lot of that leverage come out of crypto, and I think that's tremendously bullish, And so we've got this dynamic where crypto has really seen the only volatility that there is in the market, right? Stocks just trading below all-time highs. Crypto is really just getting absolutely slammed. And so I think that just points to the fact that we've seen a lot of this leverage come out of the system that has just been brewing there since that Bitcoin breakout.
It's incredible, though. Typically
it really
you get a surge like this, like what we saw, the surge that began last fall, and then you correct. A deep correction is normal, but they gave it all back, the altcoins.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people now, we've obviously moved from optimism to now tilted towards pessimism, just from a positioning standpoint, because a lot of people just got taken behind the barn. A lot of traders actually blew up on this down move, particularly in the altcoins. But what I'm seeing here is that a lot of altcoins are actually retesting a pretty strong level of resistance. And so, that dynamic where stocks have done really well, risk assets are still performing really nicely, but then crypto isn't. I mean, is there a nice catch-up trade to be made there? I think there is.
I love it. And this is for anybody who's looking for some juice and, in the later stages of a bull market. What a setup here. And then, Louis, for people who are looking to maybe get involved, get a little skin in the game here on this deep, nasty correction, do you buy the stronger alts or the weaker alts?
The weak ones, I'm sorry, the weak ones might have more juice because they've just they've corrected so much more that they can balance a little bit more.
Yeah.
But the way that I like it, I like to keep it simple. Just keeping to the ones that have shown strength over the last year, over this bull run, and then the ones that have shown relative strength on this most recent correction, which isn't much because most altcoins have drastically outperformed.
Right. Okay. And Bitcoin's still a safe place to be.
Yeah, I mean it's trading like stocks, right? It's just below all-time highs.
Love it. Louis, this was great. I don't want you to kill your voice anymore. Why don't you go
Hey,
eat some
thank you. I
soup and
appreciate that.
drink some tea, but we appreciate you pushing through to come give us this update because people want to know. I think the cryptos are a huge question mark for market participants right now.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Hey, well, cheers, guys. We would have liked to talk a little bit longer, but you have a great weekend.
you
See
too,
you,
buddy.
Louis.
Thanks, Louis.
Oh, look.
Awesome. Look, I think he makes a great point about this. If you're looking for some sort of collapse from cryptos right now, you already got it. You already got it in the middle of a bull market. So
In some respects, sure, right? I mean, Bitcoin
do
has
you not see the chart, or
Cool.
do you think the data is that's not real data? Alts are down 60%.
yeah. I in some respects, yes. But then there's Bitcoin, which was your point, Steve, which is like Bitcoin is still like the relative flight to safety, right? So
Well, guess what? Bitcoin looks like, I don't know, like Nvidia right now. It's just a sideways sloppy mess. You're looking at if you own a ton of Bitcoin right now, you're looking at the German DAX like shit. Why not? Why am I not in these boring ass European stocks?
I don't know how large that overlap is between
You don't think so?
people.
And
No.
listen, I overlap.
All right, I know. At least one. All right. Is Kenny getting down and dirty today in the We Ride and the Pony AI?
Yeah,
He
Pony.
might be.
That's
Pony
a big
AI?
story. The Pony's a big story. That's Toyota Motors, right?
Well, let's find out. Let's find out.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hold up. Yeah.
Kenny, your camera's off. There we
I
go.
know. I was doing something dastardly. What's up?
Okay. What's up? I don't know. Pony AI getting down and dirty?
Never heard of it. What do you got for me?
Well, it's up 20% this morning.
What's the symbol?
Pony. What's not to love?
P-O-N-Y? Pony?
P-O-N-Y.
All right.
It's Chinese.
This is the first company in China to they're doing like robo trucks, robo taxis and robo trucks. Or no, just robo trucks. This is an autonomous trucking company in
As
China.
it turns out, China does AI too. Like
Yep.
we just found out, like all of a sudden, like China's doing all this AI. It's crazy.
Incredible. I will see your pony and raise you a CSAI. Did you see that one I gave you guys the other day? You were like, oh, well, okay. Look at this one.
Dude, that's a hot ticker.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's a hot ticker.
From 50 to 5.
Jesus.
So it made the turn, and we started buying it like as a joke. Hey, if it breaks back over 750, maybe it goes back to 10. And then I was like, you know what? If it breaks the prior high candle, momentum could kick in on this bad boy. And then I said that the next day, and then momentum. And I was like, hey, look, the stock broke down from 50. It could go right back to 50. And then it went right back to 50. So it was pretty nuts. And it only got halted a couple of times on the way up.
Oh, only twice. No big deal.
Yeah. Usually some of these, they don't stay open for more than like 8 seconds. Halt. This one actually was trading, but absolutely incredible. I mean, there seems to be one of these every week. It's just ridiculous. But inevitably, they become SOUN as it's getting slaughtered right now.
It takes a special kind of trader to just know he's going to sit it out in halts, every now and then.
Yeah,
but that's Kenny.
Well, I don't, because the trading platform that I have gives you a 5-second to 15-second warning about the halt. So as soon as it starts getting halted, that's when I stop trading it. I don't want to be involved in that stuff.
They warn you? No kidding.
Yeah, they give you it's a limit up, limit down warning. So you have about 5 to 10 seconds, which is an eternity. If you're just sitting here, you're like, okay, it's going to halt. Let me punch out at the bid or punch out in the offer. And then if it's a momentum stock that gets halted on the upside, you generally
you're good.
Open up higher.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
But when they rug pull it, you're done. So it's treacherous, but you know, that's that pony stock. That's one of those. That looks like something that's a halt away from going right back to $5.
Kenny, can you talk about so CSAI? Are you still on this thing or what?
No.
Okay. All right. Then never mind. Because I was gonna ask you on a day like yesterday when it go really the last I guess all week, right? It's gone from 5 to 50 this week. So talk about your like risk management and your exit strategy. Because it hasn't happened to me all that often, but in the small number of times where I have been in a thing like this, and it takes up all my mental capacity. I'm just staring at the chart all day long,
Yeah.
like thinking about what to do, and it's not good. So, talk us through your exit in a name like that.
I'm always selling on the way up to avoid the catastrophes. So
Yeah.
I'm always complaining. So if
Yeah.
I'm in the stock and it's, you know, again, those monster breakouts, you're generally looking at these 2.5 point moves. And that's how it was moving. So if you're buying it at 15, you're looking for 17.5, and you already have your offer out. Before you even blink, it's taking you out. So by the time, and then again, like I said, once it starts flashing the warnings that's going to get halted, I tend to stop trading it. And that's when it goes parabolic. And I'm usually out of these stocks. Again, we were trading in the teens. And then when it broke into the 20s, we were pretty much done with it. And then it ripped to 52.43, which is kind of weird because 43 is my number. But generally just selling on the way up and getting stopped out on the way back down. But I'm telling you, I don't really like going after these ones once they go parabolic.
Yeah.
You know, but I tell you something about exits and entries and going back to names. I got smoked yesterday just going back to TTD. And I just kept fighting a losing battle yesterday. And, you know, that's why I always talk about how I want people to understand how to trade on their own. Because yesterday I fought a losing battle, and I'm proud to talk about it because it's reality. And I just got caught up. You know, it wasn't really revenge trading. I just figured, you know, after that Humana trade from a couple of days ago, while Humana was bleeding to death, and you guys remember it, here's the Humana trade it's the same basic looking chart. So Humana, I'm sitting there stalking it all day because, you know, assuming that there will be a turn, and oh baby, there was a turn on Humana. Look, I mean, this was going down.
I can't see your chart.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me get that up for you. This is worth the wait.
I think this is the difference between you and me while you're a good trader and I'm not, because you're not thinking, you're just doing, you're just acting. I think too much.
Well, I was thinking too much about TTD yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was getting lit up, but this Humana trade was why I went after TTD. No matter how bad it looks, usually there's a turn and then you rip and you get some short covering and then you get some dollar cost averaging. Humana made pretty much that whole move back. Once it turned, that was a 19-point rip. But on TTD, this was the most evil trading I had seen in a very long time. Look at this. It just would not budge. It would not budge. Hits the VWAP, reject. It got rejected at VWAP 9 times, and every time I was suckered because I'm waiting to see it make that turn. And then finally it rolls over. I get back involved again. We finally get something above the VWAP, and they dropped it on our heads into the close again. It was just an ugly mutt of a kind of a day, and it was just awful. I just kept going back to the same trade, and that's one of those things when you read the book. And if you don't have the book, email me. I'll give you the book. It's called The 20 Mistakes That Most Traders Make, and that's in the book. Going back to the loser, and there I was doing that thing because I wanted to try to make something out of this trade. And it just kept beating me, and I just kept getting beat. So it was just awful. But today, it's a new day.
There's a question in the chat for you, Kenny. We don't get these very often about RX.
RX. Yeah, that was a play.
Right?
I use Thinkorswim for charts, and I use Lightspeed for execution. But I trade on E-Trade. I love E-Trade. Easy executions. You know, I get a very cheap. I get cheap rate, 15 cents per contract. So just great. RX. Loving it. You in right now?
I love it.
I
love that you can look at a chart for 2 seconds and say, love it.
Love it. Because if you got the faux show, that's the trap, right? So, hang on. Just blew up my screen. Right here. My mouse is just acting weird right now. Sorry. So if you break down and you come back, and then you break down and come back, and then you break VWAP, you're on the right side of this trade. And now you're just looking for momentum. You break over 936, this thing probably goes to 10. So now I go look at what this thing's done over the last couple of years. Bang. Look at that. You're coming out of a little base right there. nothing not to like here. So again, but generally with these pharmaceutical stocks, they're more or less pump and dumps. But if you're on the right side of VWAP during the pump after a faux show, bro, you're on the right side. Good job. And you're looking like you're headed back to highs of the day right now.
Out of curiosity, how many time frames do you have? It look like you have a lot there. You got like a
generally.
Minute, you got
quickly. What I do is I'm always looking at 1 minute, and my anchored VWAP is just to the prior day, and then I'll scroll through 5 days worth of data. But then I always look at the yearly, 2-year, 3-year, 5-year charts just to get a snapshot of what the stock's done, just to see if there's any reverse splits in there, see what we're dealing with, and every once in a while, like a CSAI. I never heard of the stock, and then next thing you know, that's my favorite stock. So, again, we had Vaz on the show yesterday. She brought us NBIS, and now we're all loving it because I never heard of the stock, but we're loving it this morning. So NBIS, anybody know about this one? Look at this long-term chart. This is, again, it was a pump, got dumped, and now it's coming back. So again, if I never heard of the stock, next thing you know, I'm doing some due diligence on it. Right here, it got smoked, and it's in the process of a massive faux show bro, and it looks like it just broed because it got back above all-time highs. So when I see a chart like this last night, I come in today, and I'm like, all right, let's go take a look. I like it long-term, and now I like it short-term because you just got the fake-out, shake-out, VWAP breakout. So that's what the boys are in right now. I'm not in this trade, but, obviously, just like that other chart, breaks the highs of the pre-market, chances are we're going to 47.50. Yeah, I know nothing about it. Yeah, I just learned of this stock yesterday. So some of the guys are trading it again. But, formerly Yandex, Russian Google.
Wait. Is that true, Rob?
This is Russian Google. I love Russian Google.
Is that real? And, oh, my God.
Yandex is back. Oh, my friend Yandex is back. Come on, get Yuri. Oh, we got something to do now. Okay, great. I didn't no idea. Is it really? I have no idea.
Is NBIS the new the new Yandex? Oh,
bang bang, Russian Google.
I thought that stock was frozen in perpetuity.
I thought so also.
All right, that's good to know.
I love me some Yandex.
The more you know. All right. Kenny, I'll let you run. Guys, hitthebid.com. He's live trading pretty much from 8:30 a.m. through the whole morning, and then in the afternoon
we never
as well.
stop. Yes, Wednesday, what was it? Wednesday, we basically went from 8 in the morning to 2 o'clock in the morning the next day. So it was pretty fun. Except for yesterday, again, I stayed off the mic because you didn't want to hear me screaming and cursing and breaking stuff all day. All right, my friends. Das Vidanya, Yandex. See ya.
Is that real? Is that really real?
Really? He's hilarious. And if it is, first of all, what ticker were you guys talking about?
NBIS. Wait, NBIS or NBIX? Hold on. NBIS, not XS.
MVIS?
And Nancy Bravo, India. I forget what S is in the NATO alphabet.
Nebius?
Nebius. Yeah.
Well, you could see the Russia on the chart. You could go look at it. Wow. So one thing I'll say about that is Trump was making comments just this week that he would love to have Russia readmitted.
I know, so many comments.
So
no.
So bullish Russia. Yandex, welcome back.
What the hell, Yandex? Talk about blast from the past.
Spencer, we have so much to discuss. I figured we would just throw up the charts and go through some earnings.
I got some numbers. Where do you want to start?
We could start wherever you want. We discussed Coinbase yesterday live.
Well, let's start with the coin. So yeah, we talked about Robinhood yesterday, and the comment that Steve made was, what are the odds that the same crypto activity that boosted Robinhood is not also going to boost Coinbase? And the odds of that happening were pretty damn good. And as it turns out, that's exactly what happened. So Coinbase, the stock is down pre-market this morning, but the numbers, frankly, were quite good, right?
They were incredible, but the market just doesn't want to reward them. At least not how Robinhood's getting rewarded. So like their EPS came in double where the street had it. And this is what happens. We've talked about this for years now, right? The operating leverage of this business and how well they do in crypto bull markets. But it seems to, at least this good report seems to have been priced in already. So that's interesting. Robinhood seems to be getting treated a lot better out here.
Net income in Q4 was $1.3 billion.
Dude, they make a lot of money.
Listen. In the same quarter for the prior year, it was $273 million. They went from 273 to 1.3 billion in one calendar year.
Do you not remember my bullish thesis on the stock?
No, I do.
I was valuing it with 2020 and 2021 earnings numbers.
Yeah.
Because it's just a big difference. The performance of this company in a bear market versus a bull market. This kind of stock is not for the faint of heart.
Trading volume up 185% year over year, $439 billion worth of trading volume on Coinbase last quarter. I mean,
here's what I will say. Look at how the chart is set up. It was all good. It was all really good. Look how the chart is coiled right here below this massive breakout level, which would put it back at all-time highs. If they start buying this thing, we're right at tactical VWAP levels. Like we're talking about how the market's not rewarding it. What? It's down like 1%, 2% pre-market. It's not a big deal. It hasn't moved. Very muted reaction. If they start buying this up today and you get some new short-term highs, this base is probably going. And look out for the cryptos if that's happening too.
Yeah.
DraftKings.
Sure. So a few weeks ago now, maybe a month ago or more, we saw a bunch of these sports books come out with press releases trying to lower the bar for themselves for the end of the year, saying that it was a really, really good football season for bettors and therefore a bad football season for the sports books.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they all kind of came out with that, right? So the numbers for Q4 were mixed. They already lowered the bar for themselves. The forward-looking numbers, the guidance for the rest of the year was very good, right? So the guidance coming above estimates. The numbers for last quarter, they beat on the top. I'm sorry, they missed on the top. They beat on the bottom, right? So mixed numbers for the earnings, good numbers for the guidance. And what are we up here this morning in DraftKings? I don't actually know. We are
like
5%. Yeah.
DraftKings looks great. Just look at the chart. We're going back to those old all-time highs. This is just a huge business. They're one of the industry leaders. I think this industry gets so big in the future. It's one of those things. I don't think Wall Street has a good idea of what the total addressable market even really is yet.
Well, it's hard to say because it's in some respects it's a very new market, right?
We don't have the data.
We don't have the data.
So I think it's going to be bigger than anybody realizes.
It's not like their Airbnb where their total addressable market is really the same as any travel and tourism company. With these guys, their industry is new, right? So yep. we really, it's new from a legality standpoint. So we don't know. I don't know, but still got those all-time highs to get to, Steve. But it's working on it.
Everything's moving in the right direction. The growth here continues to impress. Brian Harris shouting out the fact that they're turning cash flow positive. That's a big deal. So, this is one of those turning the corner growth stories right now.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with the sports books, right, is for so long it was just a question of customer acquisition, and I guess there still are like a dozen major sports books, at least in America, and that eventually it'll get down to like the biggest two or three, right? And it's just a question of who those are. It appears that DraftKings is one of the top two or three, just in terms of the handle and in terms of the revenue. At least that we can see. We don't have the visibility into every sports books because they're not all broken out like this. But DraftKings seems like they are at the top or near the top, right, of their industry. Speaking of Airbnb, stock is up this morning. Kind of mixed report, right? So we're up like 14 or 15% on the earnings from last night.
Expectation. Look, the bar was low for these guys.
So the EPS beat, the revenue beat, net income beat. The guidance did not. The guidance came in light, actually. The revenue guidance for the current quarter.
I think they always sandbag.
Yeah. So what else did they say? Nights and experiences booked up 12% year over year. That beat the estimate as well. 111 million nights and experiences booked last quarter. Gross booking value came in above estimates as well. $17.6 billion versus $17.2 billion estimate. So it was a very good Q4 and a mixed guidance. But like I said, 15% were up this morning. So that's all that matters.
No, the reaction's positive. It's happening at a key level. This chart doesn't have to do much more because we're trading up around 160 right now. North of 170 puts the stock around, I don't know, fresh 3-year highs and really starts to complete this base. So if it could stick this move today, Airbnb is going to go out the week looking a lot better than how it came in the week. Primary trend shifts higher in my opinion.
What else do we got here? I got Twilio. Sorry, Twilio on my list. Twilio was down 9-10% this morning.
I mean, look at what the stock's done. Chart's not even broken tactically on this.
No, that's Twilio chart. In its last report, it gapped up and it like held the line. So
that wasn't even its report, though, dude. I don't think that.
Oh shoot! You know what? You're right. It wasn't. Well, actually, technically,
I don't know what that was for.
No, well,
20%.
You're right, and then I'm right. It gapped up in its last report, and it never stopped going up after that.
But then there's another gap in January.
What I don't know what that was off the top of my head. I can look it up, but I'm not going to.
I mean, the stock is a double since October of last year. It's been incredible.
Yeah, so good numbers for Twilio. Yeah, top and inline numbers. I wouldn't say good. I would say inline numbers for Twilio, but it's down.
The chat
market. They want Roku?
Yeah.
God, talk about a
look. The base is almost in here, guys. The reversal is almost in. We climb a little higher in today's session. I don't know, 105, 106.
I have to look at this Roku. So Roku, is it true? It is no. So the Roku was profitable, and they haven't been since 2022. They lost 24 cents per share last quarter, which does come in above the estimates of negative 40 cents. So we'll give them that. What else do they say? Sales of 1.2 versus 1.14 billion dollars. Revenue guidance was in line with estimates. What else do we have here on the Roku? Up 15%. I don't know. Roku's, Steve, you and I talked like last year about there are those COVID stocks that are coming back and those that are not. And Roku was not for a long time. I guess now it kind of is. It's trying to, but
I think it's one of those things though. You just start to make a list, and the list of ones that have come back continues to grow, right, as time goes on, and then the list of ones that haven't come back continues to dwindle. And I think Roku maybe joins that good list soon. The way it's shaped up.
Dawson has 9 Rokus in his house. We had a Roku. It stopped working after a few years. So I don't know, but
I've never used it. I know nothing about the product.
No opinion on Roku from a product standpoint. What else did we have? I know there's more. Let's pull up the calendar.
Otherwise, I'll just talk about China.
There was Palo Alto. Oh, what's getting hit this morning is Moderna. I know you don't really care about Moderna, but it's down 5%. They're in straight up cost cutting mode. It's ugly.
Stock looks like zero, Spencer. I got news for you.
It's really ugly. Remember the bull case on Moderna it wasn't even the COVID vaccine. It was the fact that the technology behind the COVID vaccine could be applied to other vaccines. And I don't know what's going on there, but they are not profitable, right? They're losing like $3 a share.
Dude, big pharma in general just continues to have a real rough go at it.
Yeah, it's brutal. I can't remember the last time Moderna had a good earnings report.
Pfizer, Moderna, Bristol Myers. I mean, I understand there's areas of healthcare working. but it's been tough to make money in pharma.
Yeah, dear Lord. Palo Alto is looking okay. I mean, I know it's down in the pre-market, but it's off the lows. It's been on a tear, right?
Cyber's been trending exceptionally well,
Yep.
particularly relative to other tech stocks. Right, Cyber's doing great.
Yeah.
CrowdStrike had a big candle, big breakout yesterday. A lot of these just look fantastic still.
I miss CrowdStrike breaking above its shit the bed.
Don't set alerts. 300. Yeah, 300. You don't set alerts for that kind of stuff?
No, 400 is what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, we liked it at 3, the prior cycle high.
No, I know that's where you liked it. I was keeping an eye on those highs from June when they shut the bed and the whole world shut down or whatever.
Okay, it just ramped right through them.
Yeah. Wow.
Speaking of industry leaders.
See, a lot can change in 6 months. This thing was $200 in July.
Well, those are always interesting situations, right?
August,
where the market's questioning the reputational damage that occurred.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause you can't predict the future. And the situation with CrowdStrike was, are they going to lose all their customers? Right. And in those moments, you don't know like how bad is it unless you're out there like actually talking to their customers and figuring out how people feel about this. It's hard to know. But then a couple quarters go by and you could see the sales trends and they didn't lose any customers. Great. Right back to where we were. Right. So
it was a great burst for the Bears that lasted a whopping 2 weeks, right? The second half of July and I guess early August of last year, right? Because the low was literally on August 5th. So, it's been good since then.
So Meta still hasn't snapped this win streak.
I saw something about a dividend. Did I see that one? Yeah, Meta raised their dividend by 5%.
So
because I'm in Meta for the dividend, right? That's definitely why I own it.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely why I own Meta.
What's funny? Just like a flex, though, Spencer, and it gets them into probably different indexes and stuff.
But wouldn't you agree that there are environments in which a raising the dividend headline is actually a bad thing? Would you agree?
Yeah, like the one we're in now. But Meta's also putting out headlines about the tens of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe that they're spending building out all this new technology that they're working on.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're not reinvesting. It's just that they're such a cash cow. They're like, hey, look, we could do both.
Here. I know 5% it's inconsequential. It's not going to move the needle.
Guess what other stocks can do this kind of thing, Spencer?
Dude, I'm so stuck in this thing. I bought it and it hasn't stopped going up. I don't know what to do. I guess I should just trim my way out of it. But like, why would I sell? It's still going up.
What other stocks are just such cash cows that they could pay little dividends and still reinvest their profits into all the big new trends emerging around the world? It's Chinese tech stocks. Yes, you're right. The Magnificent Seven of China, they can also do those things. So Baidu, Jack Ma meeting with President Xi, or Baba headline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Baba, every day you just come in, you sit at your desk, and Baba's up another 4 or 5%. And notice there's some sort of headline that they're saying Baba's up on. These aren't new headlines. Jack Ma meets with President Xi. Alibaba announces things. They drop press releases. It's just that now we're in an environment where investors want these stocks and they want them bad. So they're putting out press releases. They're meeting with presidents, and the stocks are ripping 3, 4, 5% day in and day out. It's simply a shift in sentiment. It's a shift in the way that we treat these stocks. It's a shift in the way that the market reacts to news about these stocks. It's really just it's bull market stuff. It's real, true bull market behavior.
You've put on 8 bullish China trades in the last few weeks for breakout multiplier. Is it true that you're 8 for 8?
Did we get a double in FXI this morning?
That's what I hear.
We're 1 minute in, Spencer, to today.
That's what I hear. Son of a gun.
The 8th might be happening today, but we're 7 for 8 now. I can say that.
I think you're 8 for 8. I think you're 8 for 8 now.
And we got one 10x winner in that too, and another one close to like 5x now. So they just keep running. EHang is up another 12% today. It's just really wild. In fact, we probably got to get off.
All right.
Crazy.
Let's do that. A couple of things I want to say before we go. If you want to find out or hear from Steven what his bullish China trades were, how he went about it, I'm dropping a link in chat right now to a video that he did on Monday for Breakout Multiplier, but it's open. This video is free to the public. There's the link. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you missed yesterday afternoon, JC went live with Jeff Mackey to talk about some of Jeff's favorite retail stocks right now. I'm going to drop the link in the chat to that. There it is. What else did I want to say? We are not doing a show on Monday. It's President's Day. We will be going live with Louis, provided he has a voice, because crypto doesn't celebrate U.S. holidays, which is awesome. So Louis will be going live on Monday afternoon to talk about crypto. We'll send some emails out about that. We'll be back on Tuesday for a regular old morning show, but we won't be here on Monday. So I hope everyone has a great long weekend. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. If you're in the U.S., enjoy the 3-day weekend. If you're not, well, enjoy your normal weekend. JC's next conference call Monday night. AAC Premium members, get in on that. You'll get an email about that today. What else am I forgetting? I think that's it.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Go love one another. Have a great weekend.
Oh, peace
It's
and
a
love.
great time.
Peace and love.
That's it. That's it.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit